Good morning or afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to our Dungeons & Dragons campaign, Session 4. Last time was an extra long session. We all loved it very much. As usual, please watch the previous episodes for a recap. Alexandra, Bronson, and Kamara, you all long rest and reach level 3? You all rest in your tents. The campfire is still alight, although just barely. Bronson, I imagine you head back out as the sun starts to rise to bury Commander Lucia. Kamara, you sleep dreamily and peacefully as your dreams vary in time and subject. Maybe you dream about the Goliath that you and Bronson talked about the previous night. Maybe you dream of your home, or just a random memory from your previous endeavors. Either way, you dream rather peacefully and contently. However, Alexandra, your sleep does not go pleasantly. Whilst you do gain the benefits of a long rest, you wake up feeling absolutely sick to your stomach. That level of exhaustion might have gone, but yet it hurts to even move. It's as if someone slammed into your body with a horse. Heck, even dragging yourself out of bed is a trial in of itself. Your face is absolutely caked in sweat, your makeup smeared, and even though you were pale to begin with, you look somehow even more so today. You are almost the physical embodiment of looking just as bad as you feel.
Kamari sits outside beside the fire, still in her nightclothes. She set up a little metal grill over the campfire, cooking some raw meat from her provisions. She's humming a little melody to herself as she watches the sun rise in the distance, along with the sweet sounds of the campfire.
Alexandra drags herself out of her tent, her bare legs wobbling as she sits on the adjacent side of the campfire. I imagine the ascending sun's rays hitting her face don't alleviate anything. She breathes deeply, not saying a word.
By the living gods. Alexandra, you look like merde absolue. What's come over you? Kamari is practically staring at her, wide-eyed. You look like death itself, if he was left to mold in a burning sun for a week.
Spare me your vapid insults, Bard. It's just a bad cold. Just be quiet and let me gather my strength.
Bad cold. Don't play me for a fool, Alexandra. What's truly wrong with you?
Alexandra rubs her sweat-soaked forehead, feeling like someone placed a burning knife into her skull, razors down her throat, and a dozen feathers up her nose. She merely gestures for Kamara to be silent, her eyeliner trickling down her cheeks.
Femme têtue, Alexandra. Trop têtue pour ton propre bien. Kamari makes her way over to her, crouching down beside her. If you don't tell me, I'm going to look you over myself. I possess adequate knowledge when it comes to biology and ailments, so your choice.
Your jests are becoming as dull as your insults. Alexandra tips her head back as she's on the verge of a big sneeze. Her entire body is shaking and her face gets paler. Her clothes are practically glued to her due to how much she's sweating.
Kamari searched through her satchel, getting out some cloth as well as her glasses. Crouching back down beside Alexandra, Kamari gently presses the fresh cloth against Alexandra's nose, waiting for her to blow.
Alexandra inhales sharply before screaming out a huge sneeze, her throat now feeling as if those same razors latched themselves deep down and began making their way back up, slitting the skin open as they do so. She lays back now, a weary, drained mess.
Sois béni. S'il était si fort que je pense que même les dieux eux-mêmes l'ont entendu. God bless you. Kamari sets the cloth aside, unfolding her glasses. I want to find out what's wrong with you one way or another. If you won't tell me in some way, I'll take matters into my own hands and find out.
Alexandra reaches out, her hands clasping Kamara's. If you don't stay out of my business, I will make sure you pay for it for the rest of your days. Alexandra's voice is on the verge of breaking, the pain in her throat becoming almost unbearable.
We're all traveling together, and if you can't defend yourself, then what does that mean for you? For all of us, even. And also, your throats won't work on me, you can barely keep your eyes open. I somehow doubt you'll be able to cast a spell at me.
Alexandra's grip on her wrists becomes a little more tense. She gives Kamara a glare before snatching her glasses, and threatening to break them, holding either end of them.
Well, that's just petty, Alexandra, threatening to break one of my belongings like a child. Really? I know you're a mess right now, but I seriously thought you other people would know better than this.
Alexandra's hands tremble as she barely has the strength to keep her arms up.
Go on then, break them. Break my glasses. Checking you over will be a lot more difficult when counting their absence, but it won't stop me. So really you're just delaying the inevitable. The only thing you have control over is whether how easy you make this for me.
Her entire body shaking, Alexandra seems to hesitate before dropping the glasses and looking ready to cry. What the fuck is wrong with me? I went from traversing the fucking astral plane to just sulking here next to a fucking campfire. What a pathetic contrast.
Kamari sits down near Alexandra, hopefully receiving recognition as Kamari looks at her with renewed interest and understanding. The astral plane, did you say? You wandered an adventure through it.
A nod from Alexandra answers Kamara's questions, her eyes briefly looking into camera ears for a second before she closed them, the back of her eyes feeling like they're being beaten by drumsticks.
Eh bien, c'était quelque chose à laquelle je ne m'attendais pas. Well, that was something I didn't expect. Won't put on the matter for now. But can you please let me look you over? You look like rotting fruit festering in the back of an old outhouse.
Fine, but make it quick. Alexandra places the glasses in Kamara's hands. You'll need these, I imagine. For a brief moment, Alexandra remembers the cause of her affliction, but her throat is in too much pain right now for her to speak further.
Merci, mon société. Thank you. DM, can I please roll the appropriate check to find out what on earth is eating at Alexandra?
Of course. Catherine, please roll me either a medicine, nature, or survival check.
Very well. Medicine will be. I have a good proficiency with that particular skill. That's a 12 plus 4, so 16 in total.
Kammerer, maybe it was because you all had your hands full last night, but you failed to check each other for injuries during the aftermath of the battle. It's a certainty that werewolves can transmit their affliction through a fresh bite.
Comme un détail simple que nous avons négligé et oublié. How could I forget something so paramount? I will relay all of what I have learned to Alexandra. DM, do I know anything more about the werewolf affliction?
Catherine, please roll me a history check.
A history check. Very well. That's not ideal. I got a 5 in total.
You know, you've read about this somewhere, but at this current moment in time, you can't recall the overall majority of what you retained on the subject.
Well, that's not exactly ideal. Then could I possibly look for some berries or herbs or something to make into a possible extract to try and help Alexandra's symptoms? Could I mix some berries or something together? Try and help alleviate her fever. There's got to be some herb or berry that can be used to create some sort of tonic or be added into a hot drink to help with common symptoms. I know the affliction is not common, but the symptoms are.
That's a very good idea, Catherine. Because of that, please roll either a nature or survival check with advantage.
Thank you, Donald. Thank goodness that was with advantage. Otherwise, that would have been a natural one. So altogether, a 17 for my survival check.
Thank goodness indeed. Kamara, with a 17, you recall what knowledge you can about common herbs and plants that can help bring down fevers and ease common symptoms. I imagine you have a pot or something you can use over the grill and the campfire to boil some water and mix it all into a concoction.
Alexandra continues to sweat and scream out another sneeze. She's starting to become a metaphorical puddle.
God bless you.
You said you were going to get herbs. How long have you been gone?
I'm nearly finished, but I just need you to be patient for another few minutes that whilst I make the tonic. I nearly forgot about the meat that I left on the grill earlier. I think it's done now. With that, I'm going to store away the meat and begin throwing all the herbs together and brew this concoction. After the water has finished boiling in the pot, of course.
Very good. Whilst you're re-preparing and brewing the tonic, we will cut over to Bronson. Bronson, at this point in time, you have finished digging the grave for your commander. How you dug the grave is up to you as long as the reason is logical.
Bronson looks over at the corpse of his commander and then back at the fresh grave he's just dug. Oh, Commander, what on earth happened to you that you became a werewolf? Did you get attacked by surprise? Caught off guard, perhaps? All of these thoughts and possibilities are invading Bronson's mind. He almost rages as he gets himself caught up in all of these daunting theories and doubts. He wished Kamara was here with him now, but he let her sleep. He wanted to be alone. Just himself and his father figure. All of that being said, and dumb Bronson begins the delicate process of transferring the commander's body from outside of the grave to inside the grave, and then refilling the grave with loose dirt and grass, of course. After all of that, Bronson, almost bursting into tears halfway through, he sits beside the covered grave. I'm sorry there's no epitaph for you, Commander. Even if there was, though, I really don't think I am worthy enough to write it. I would leave that honor to your wife and colleagues. Like my teething friend said, Commander, I hope your soul is flying high and at peace. You were a monumental figure to me, and to so many others, yet all of your superiors treated you like a doormat. I know that I should not be bad-mouthing your superiors, Commander, but I'm being open here. Exactly like you taught us. Rest in peace, Commander Loisha. You are one of the best commanders, warriors, and people to have ever walked this realm. When I return to Baldur's Gate, I will inform everyone of your legacy and ensure that it's kept alive for the centuries to come.
Bronson, after you finish that touching eulogy, you feel a slight touch on your shoulder as if someone tapped it.
Bronson spins around, taken by surprise. Does he see anyone behind him at all, Dim?
Apart from the commander's grave, you see nothing out of the ordinary, and no other soul is around. The ladies aren't too far away, but they could not have come up and touched your shoulder and then ran away that quickly, of course.
Does Brunson feel scared or uncomfortable or anything negative in terms of emotions, DM?
You feel like something is a bit off, but nothing more than that.
Very well then. After taking a minute to regain my bearings, I will return to the ladies and see what possible antics they are up to.
No problem. Bronson, after taking your time in your travels to return to Alexandra and Kamara, you find them beside the campfire with a hot pot full of some sort of concoction boiling inside.
By the living gods, Alexandra, you look like death warmed over. Kamara, what in the hells is happening here? I've only been gone for an hour.
Bonjour et bienvenue à nouveau, Bronson. Alexandra's health has been jeopardized by a fire last night. The werewolf infected her. I'm working on brewing something to lower her fever. Now our journey has a secondary purpose. We've got to cure Alexandra before the curse claims her completely.
It will take more than a special brew to manage these symptoms. But I appreciate your efforts, Kamar.
Unfortunately, as well as slowly turning her into a werewolf, her condition has also made her incredibly touchy.
It's incredibly hard to remain in a good mood when your entire body feels like it's dead set on killing itself, Kamar.
I know, Alexandra, but I'm going to try my damnedest to help you. Bronson included, I hope.
Well, of course, there's no question about it. Is there anything I can do to help? I can help get some wet cloth to help maintain her temperature.
Bronson and Kamara, you both make the necessary arrangements for what you both believe will help Alexandra. Alexandra, as you slowly drink the prepared tonic, can you please make a constitution check with advantage?
A constitution check. Certainly, with advantage. That is a dirty 20 in total.
Excellent. Alexandra, as you finish consuming the tonic, it tastes of a variety of flavors. But the most important thing is that over the course of the next hour, your symptoms slowly subside after lessening in intensity. You feel close to what you consider healthy.
By the gods, that feels substantially better. Alexandra is actually able to get to her feet now without wobbling or falling. Albeit after a few attempts. Kamara Bronson, thank you. You have no idea of the amount of pain I was in. Think of the worst flu you can imagine and then triple it.
Alexandra, even though you feel almost 100%, there is still that lingering feeling of the fact that the sickness will return if this curse does not get dealt with soon.
I understand. Alexandra returns to her tent to change into her regular attire and reapply her makeup. Once that is done, she will help the others pack up the camp.
Kamaya has a quick exchange with Bronson as they all pack up. Bronson, if you don't mind me asking, how did the burying of your commander go? I hope you have found some closure.
Bronson is quiet for a moment before nodding. It was not easy, but then again, most things aren't. But it was necessary. I do not regret it. Thank you for asking.
So as you all finish packing up, you all head out back onto the path once again. Someone, please do a perception check to watch out for threats. As someone else does a survival check to ensure they are maintaining the proper direction.
Well, I can cast a bardic inspiration on whoever wants to help with these checks.
Well, for both my perception and survival skills, I have a +4 on both of them. So I'm happy with doing either check if everyone is in agreement on that.
I'm more than willing to do a survival check with help from some bardic inspiration. Just in case.
Sure thing, Alexandra. Kamara, would you mind giving me some bardic inspiration as well, please? I also want to be extra careful. Just in case.
No worries, I'm more than happy to do that. Kamari plays her flute calmly. A pot sense of calmness and encouragement fills the air around everyone. Both Bronson and Alexandra gain bardic inspiration.
Alexandra will now roll her survival check. That's a 13. Plus bardic inspiration. 16 total.
Brunson will now do a perception check, 12 + 4. Also an extra 3 from the bardic inspiration. 19 total.
Excellent. So with both of those rolls, Bronson, you maintain vigilance and caution as you all travel onwards. Alexandra, you use your survival instincts and knowledge to ensure you're all heading in the correct direction. So an hour or two into your journey, you come across a crossroads. There are some signposts near the center, although the signpost pointing in the direction of the Wheeldath Woods has been scratched at and almost destroyed, possibly by someone carving into it with some sort of blade or a claw. There is another signpost underneath that one pointing the same way. Written on it is the word Budbroke, possibly a town or an outpost. While there are some scratches and slashes on it, it's mostly intact.
Maybe that's the werewolf's doing, or a stray dire wolf. Either way, we're headed in that direction regardless.
It's rather ominous, isn't it? Also, when considering that the other signposts are undamaged.
If you give it further thoughts, yes, we can contemplate and speculate all evening. But it won't help us in the long run. Let's keep moving before the sun sets. Maybe if this Budbrook is a town, then we could rest there for a short time. Maybe there's a herbalist there as well that can lend aid, or at the very least has herbs for sale.
As you all resume your late evening journey, Wildath Woods is in the distant horizon. It will take roughly an hour or two, but you can reach the edge of it by nightfall. Maybe you can even venture further into the woods, but that will leave you quite exhausted.
DM, can any of us spot a little town or settlement within the confines of the forest entrances? Or somewhere close to it? Maybe Budbrook is just a small quaint outpost, but I happen to be curious.
Bronson, feel free to roll another perception check.
Kamari will give Bronson Anna débardique inspiration, swiftly playing a melody on her flute.
Thank you, Kamara. 15 plus 4, so 19. And inspiration included is 24.
Holy smokes, Daniel, that's a great roll, with much appreciated help from Catherine as well. In the vicinity of the forest entrance, there does seem to be a collection of small stone houses adjacent to each other. Altogether, there are 7 of them, as well as a small church. Due to the setting sun, there are lit street lanterns lining a one-way street. Near the back of the church wall, you can see one of its windows has been somewhat damaged. It's barely holding itself together.
I will relay all of this information to the ladies, of course.
Well, from what you described, it doesn't seem to be much of a town. A small village, then. I would label it a hamlet, but you described seeing a church, Bronson.
It seemed like a good place to stock up on provisions and supplies. I'm unsure as to how many rations we all have. Left probably is a good idea.
If you want to stop there, I'm fine with that. Alexandra, are you still feeling all right? How are you faring in terms of wellness?
DM, how is Alexandra holding up currently? Is the tonic still working its magic?
Alexandra, as you watch the sun begin to descend, you start to feel sweaty as if the air itself is humid. It won't be too long before the other symptoms start to resurface again.
Well, shit. Yes, stopping at that town seems like a good idea, especially before my symptoms return.
So it's decided then. Within about half an hour, all 3 of you are just outside the entrance to the town. To describe it again, this location is a single path, 3 houses on both sides as the path carries on. At the end of the path is the church, as well as a house much bigger than the other houses. There's a small sign near you all, with Budbrook written on it. There are a few people out and about as the sun finishes its descent. Alexandra, you feel extremely hot. It's as if you're walking through a steam bath.
Oh, fantastic. Here we go again.
And with that, we will leave it there. Thank you, everyone, and see you very soon. Take care and look after yourselves.